if you're a security business owner right now in 2026, your mind is on two things: health and safety of your customers and the health of your business. Welcome back to Security Insights with Arvind Dhillon. Happy New Year to everyone. In this episode, I'm going to share the financial mistakes that I made in my last 20 years of experience in security business. So you guys don't make those mistakes and you can learn from my mistakes. Consider this your first strategic investment of 2026. Let's get to work.
Hi everyone, this is Tuche. Happy New Year. I'm so excited to be back and doing our first episode of the new year. Okay, Arvind, you kicked us off with a powerful statement. If I had my today's knowledge 20 years ago, let's start it there. What's the single biggest financial mind shift that you needed to make when you stopped being technician and started becoming CEO?
20 years ago, I wish I knew I would have counted for all the overhead and all the cash flow. Cash flow has been the essential part of growing the business. Didn't matter if it was when it was just two of us working in the business or when we had first employees. Cash flow always been the number one mistake that I've always made.
So the one is cash flow, the other is overhead expenses?
All the overhead expenses has to be, we never really counted for them.
True. Okay, let's start from the very foundation. When you started Cover Security, 2007, where did the money that you built the foundation come from? Were you granted a loan from bank or was it savings?
It was mostly savings from me and my partner. But as the company started to grow, we didn't have enough cash flow. Then I did borrow money from my parent. I never realized that till in recent times because the money was always available from my parents. I didn't have to go to the bank. It was just easy, write me a check, and that was it.
There's no bank loan.
Yeah, so that I never appreciated that as much as I should have, but now I realize.
So from the financial safety net, your partner and yourself savings plus a loan, bank or family in that scenario, you're saying, how much of a financial safety net do you think a prospective owner should build before starting their business?
It really depends what stage of a personal life you're at. If you have a family that you're looking after, then make sure you have 3 to 4 months of a savings or 3 to 4 months of bills that you can cover. But if you're single like we were in our early 20s, we didn't really have that many expenses. So yes, we had some savings, but it wasn't really a big savings. We were still living at home, so we were able to start our business and didn't have to worry about the day-to-day financials.
Can we give some kind of a number, like a safety net for a small startup for a security company? What would be that number, the safest?
Number is very hard because depends if you're buying a new vehicles or the new tools or you're buying used ones. But definitely, do your personal expenses. If you have enough of those expenses, then usually you're okay.
Got it. A lot of owners start this year with revenue goal. What do you talk about the mistakes hidden in that, the overhead expenses? What's more powerful financial goal for a security business owner to set for 2026?
Any business owner, doesn't have to be a security business. Any business owner, they should know where the cash flow will come from to cover all the daily expenses. Most of the mistakes that I see, even us, we do the same thing. Even though we have a accounting team, but we still make those mistakes where the budgets are not set for we and the team isn't working within the budget. So if you can, this is our goal that every year we sit down quarter by quarter, we set up a budget and we try to stay within those budgets.
Let's get into specifics. You promised to share mistakes so we can avoid them. What was your most painful lesson around pricing and costs early on?
The most painful was we underestimated the hours and didn't collect a deposit on a job. And that was the biggest mistake we had. We had lots of job with one customer, and we never collected any deposits on that. So when that customer had a hard time paying us, that almost crumpled our business.
So labor hours and not taking deposit.
Deposit is a big one, and then also underestimating, I should say. That you just calculated how many parts it's going to cost and how much roughly the labor is going to do. Instead of saying it's going to take 3 days, you're like, oh no, we can work hard and we can finish it in 2 days. But that's not how you can run a business.
We don't assume things.
Yes.
Okay, so what was your cash flow crisis moment and what system did you put in place to never face it again?
It was a big one back in 2008 when the financial crisis was happening in worldwide, I should say. It started with the US, but it was a worldwide. As I said, we didn't collect any deposits from customers. So we had to finish those jobs, and then customers were having hard time paying us. Right?
So delayed payments was the deposit cost, the cash flow crisis moment for you.
Crisis, yes.
So that will be your biggest message, the cash flow, take deposit and cut your
You can
hours.
say that's one of the biggest ones. There's lots of other ones, but that's one of the biggest
ones.
The
biggest one early on. Okay, got it. So we think about the cost of equipment and payroll. What's the hidden or underestimated cost that slightly eats your profits, and how do you manage it?
Few of those are we never really count for the extra screws or extra tape that's going to be part of the job. We never count that. We always think like, oh, it's just a little bit, $1 or $2, but it adds up over the years. That's number one. Second one is the gas that we put into the cars or the vehicle maintenance. We never really calculated that either. On top of that, the biggest one is servicing the client. We never accounted that, yes, on this job, we will made the profit when we finish the job, but how do we service the customer from 6 months from now, 9 months from now, or a year from now? Because when we install the systems, we always warranty for 1 year or 3 years, right? So that means we have to cover all the parts out of our own pocket sometimes, or bare minimum, we always have to cover our labor, right? Labor of a technician going there, the vehicle going out there. We never really accounted for that. So that was a very big hidden cost. As our customer base grew, we realized now we need a full-time position just for someone to do explain to the customer how to operate the system or have some service.
That extra hours. So how do you manage it right now? What's the system on that?
Now we built into every job that we could put a quotation together, we automatically build a few hours. Yes, there's some jobs where we never had to go back, but there's some jobs that we have to go back 2, 3, 4 times, right?
So in the first quotation of the project, it involves that extra few hours for extra servicing the client.
Exactly.
Got it. So can we list those that we mentioned again? So we say vehicle maintenance, extra servicing the customers.
Servicing the customers and extra small parts that are not part of the job, but you need them to install the system.
A
like
few
the
dollar things.
screws, tapes, t tie wraps, all those things that add up.
And extra service goes through the guarantee time that the company provides.
Yes.
Got
Actually, I would like to add few things onto the hidden cost list. It's the office office overhead. Your BC Hydro, your gas bill, your cleaning supplies, your accounting software, your technician software, all those costs has to be added up on it. Yes, first when you're starting out just by yourself, you don't necessarily need a office space, but as your business grow, you need to hire employees for the office, and you need to have the office space. So all those things have to be factored into the job.
We are adding office cost as in full overhead expenses,
Yes.
including tiny things like supplies, cleanings, and maybe coffees, even stuff for the
Yeah, no, there you
it's
go.
like tiny
Now you
ones,
added
yeah.
it's the things that you don't think about, right? Like you're thinking, oh, coffee is like $10, good for a month, but you know you need a cup, you need a dishwasher, you need a detergent. So
it adds up. It adds
up. At the end of the year, you always go, oh my god, have we spent that much money on cleaning?
Yeah.
Right? So
we need to track down everything, right? As a business owner, that's your main thing. Track down everything, even the small $1 thingies. You're adding up the cost, and pricing, quoting depends on that cost that is coming to you. So I want to translate all this cost and things to an action plan. Since we are just in 2026, in our first month of January right now, let's say a first quarter action plan. What are the first 3 financial documents or reports a security business owner should review or create this January?
I would say the first thing on January 1st, your budget should be laid out for the quarter, very minimum for the quarter, because you know exactly how much money you have, how much money you're willing to spend, whether that's part of the advertising, your office cost, or your employee cost. You have to meet those targets. If you're not meeting those targets, then at least you in the next quarter you can reset, say, hey, I need to hire extra employee, or I have a budget in there that I cannot hire extra employee. So the budgeting is the number one tool that you first start with.
So the first quarter action plan, setting up your budgets and expenses and goals of income, and the first 3 months
and sticking to it. That's the other goal, that you cannot just make a budget and then not stick to it.
And just like I just did it, it's in there.
Yeah. So you have to, if you put down that, 50,000 is going to be your labor cost, make sure you're at 50,000. You have to monitor it. So what we do is we do it monthly. So within the quarter, we will do a monthly, okay, this month our payroll was higher or lower by 2% or 5%, then in the next month we can adjust that. And if you're not focusing on these charts every month, then at the end of the quarter you might be off by 10% or 20%, and that there goes all your profit.
The full quarter already gonna take it down.
And the quarter will be, and I can assure you that if you're gone over 20% on a labor in one quarter, it will be very hard to catch up for the rest of the year. So you have to not only make a budget, then you also have to look at those numbers every month. If you can do it daily, that would even be
daily for a business owner.
It would be the magic, because then you can adjust daily. But I know it's almost impossible to look at those numbers daily.
True. At least if we are saying to our listeners to first action plan, make the quarterly plan and try to check and track it down if you're on track, if you're following, sticking to those rules monthly. I mean, daily is a little bit harder to do, but monthly.
I'm involved in one of the other business where the labor is a big component of it. So I do have to check the labor part daily. but I only check the labor part because I know that's the biggest component.
So automatically in the reports, you just
The report
oversee
comes
it.
out
Got
every
it.
morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. I check my email, the report is there, and I just have to say, no, it looks okay. I don't have to do anything. If it does not look okay, then I have to let my management team know, hey, our labor is high, so then they can schedule accordingly, right?
Got it. So scheduling, planning, budget, one thing, but there are other things out of business's control, which is inflation and rising costs are the reality. How should a security business approach price increases in 2026 in a way that is fair and maintains client trust?
Um, as we all know, in last couple of years, inflation has been um, out of the norm, 7-8%, and also so to cover uh, or to get me some sleep, we have started to negotiate with our suppliers. So upfront, we place an order, say we need 100 keypads or 100 panels. Give us a price, however long that 100 is gonna take. So we know that okay, we're doing 10 installs a month. So if we're buying 100, then it should last us at least 10 or 9 months, right? So
You're stocking in your warehouse.
we don't necessarily stock it. We just negotiate a deal with the supplier up front. Sometimes we have to pay a little bit extra in order to do that. So they keep all the equipment within their system and we don't have to pay for it. But we have reserved that. So now we know that for next 9 months or 10 months, this is going to be our cost for certain products. That's one thing that we implemented. We feel that it's been helping us a lot. The other mistake that we made is we purchased inventory when it was on sale. So sometimes we'll buy speakers when they go on a sale because there's no expiry date to it and they hardly any manufacturer default in that. So we will buy loads of it and store it in our warehouse, but there's a cost to that. So one is real estate is expensive, so your storing cost and then your money is tied into the business. So there's no turnover on the inventory. So that's the other flip side of the coin, that you're thinking you're saving money, but really your money is tied up into the inventory.
That was our little bit touching the next part of the investing back to the business, the growth and decisions. It is good when it's touched there. So investing back into the business is crucial for growth. Where is the smartest place for a profitable security business to invest in 2026? It can be tools, marketing, inventory, as you say, or people.
It's definitely people in this age, because as the technology is changing so rapidly, you have to make sure that your people are upgrading as the technology is changing. So people, we love to send our technicians to the different webinars, different seminars, wherever they can collect new data points from, right? And also the marketing is also getting very big. Social media marketing or online marketing. I think it's bigger than ever, and with the help of AI, hopefully the effort that you have to put into the advertisement will also cut down as well. But this is the changes that we have to keep an eye on.
And this is the investment you put your attention to for the business growth, right?
Yes.
What does long-term financial security look like for a business like yours? Are we talking about building an asset to eventually sell?
Right now, we're both young and we have a long runway. There's no plan to retire whatsoever. My thinking is I want to be well into my 90s and working. I love what I do. I don't have any other hobbies, so I'm not sure what else I can do.
Okay, so not the retirement, but what is the long-term financial security then?
Explain that a little bit more.
For any security business, let's generalize, not specifically like cover security, but they build their security company in long term what is their financial system to secure everything?
Building our RMR business is the biggest asset for any security company. So we've been really blessed that we started this early on with our monitoring division, where we monitor alarm systems. So that revenue is keep coming every month, and that helps us budget a lot better as well. We know that revenue is already in the books, right? So now starting with the video camera surveillance, that's also our RMR business. So we you can say we're blessed. Any security person that's out there, I recommend highly that they get involved in this RMR business.
All right. So to wrap up, give us one non-negotiable piece of financial advice. If a business owner does only one thing differently with their money in 2026, what should be?
First, to create the budget. Second, to stick to it 100%. Not 99, not 101%. You have to stick to exactly. Spend the money where it needs to be spent, whatever you were thinking about it. You can always change the budget the next quarter. Okay. That's not the point. The point is, once you get into the habit that, it's non-negotiable, that I'm not changing my budget, your management team will learn how to survive in that. You will also learn how to survive in that quarter or to stick into the budget.
The first goal, quarterly checkups, quarterly budgets, quarterly tracking down, and committing to that.
I think it should be a yearly budget breaking into the quarterly, but I don't put too much emphasis on a yearly budget because we spend so much extra time doing the yearly budget. But when we're in a quarter, then we don't focus on that. I'd rather have just focus on one quarter at a time. Then you can have a financial success.
Getting into bite size that you can swallow, I would say over there. Arvind, that was masterclass. You are turning the past financial pain into future profit. And thank you for the transparency.
Well, that's a wrap for the first episode of 2026. Hope everybody got some good info and insights from this episode. I would love to hear if you were able to create your own budget, and if you ever need help to create your own budget, you want me to check it out, hit me up on LinkedIn or Instagram at Arvind Dhillon. Subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate it very much. As always, stay secure, keep your business growing, and let's have a great 2026. Need help to create your own budget? You want me to check it out? Hit me up on LinkedIn or Instagram at Arvind Dhillon. That's it.
Yeah, we're good here. Yeah, cut there.
That was incredible,
but so you started contact. I'm not gonna look at you from now on.
Okay, no, it's great. We can.